Does your jewelry come out of your tumbler with an unexpected finish? Maybe you spent a lot of time burnishing it, bringing back those bright copper highlights before you put it in the tumbler. And then when you pull it out, it's all sort of a dark gunmetal gray, muddy finish. The reason that happens is because your steel shot has become dirty. All you have to do is clean your shot. So let's get started. My name is Wendy, and I'm the wire weaver behind door 44. If you'd like to learn to make wire jewelry, this channel's for you. There's just a few things that you need, and one is this Sunshine Steel Shot Cleaner. This comes from Rio Grande, and as you can see, it's a 1-quart bottle. It makes 6 gallons of cleaner, and the recipe on this is designed for the gallon. This is, it's sort of an industrial solution, and it's expected that this is going to be used in a professional jewelry studio where somebody's cleaning a lot of steel shot regularly. I'm somewhere between professional and hobbyist. I just don't make that much jewelry. So I've reduced this recipe down to 2.5 tablespoons of the cleaner to 4 cups of hot water. And I put 2 cups of solution in each of my tumbler barrels. So I have 2 different kinds of shot here. This one, you can see I marked the lid with pins. And that's because this steel shot has these little pins in it. Can you see those? So the reason I mark this one specifically and identify the pins is because those pins will slip through a normal colander. So I use this fine mesh stainless steel kitchen colander for draining that particular barrel of shot. So it's just a personal note for me, but keep that in mind. If you happen to buy a jewelry shot mix and it comes with pins, let me see if I can get one here. They're quite small. They have a nice sharp point on them. And they get into little tiny crevices and, sort of do a good job of deburring and cleaning your jewelry. But they're also a little bit more problematic. So you want to make sure you have a colander that's fine enough that those pins won't slip right through it. So just a tip to keep in mind. And then my other barrel of shot, look at this mix. This is a similar mix, but it has just 2 different shapes of steel shot. So there's these little saucer shapes that have sort of sharp edges that again do a great job of deburring and polishing. And then there's these little sort of trapezoid shaped pieces. And it looks like there's also some ball bearings in there. So like I say, there are lots of different mixes of jewelry shot on the market. On my blog, you're going to find a resource guide that goes along with this video, and it'll have links to everything that I use to clean and maintain my steel shot, and I'll also provide links to resources for shot. So if you're looking for some, I'll make sure you can find that. Okay, so I have 4 cups of hot water here, and I'm going to take, like I said, the recipe is 2.5 tablespoons to 4 cups of water. So I'm just going to go ahead and measure that out. There's 1, 2, and a half. And that's it. That's your cleaning solution. And then, like I said, I'm just going to pour half of this into one barrel and half into the other barrel. So we'll just pour that in. There we go. And we'll put the remaining half in the second barrel. Now, to attach your barrel lids, so these lids come in 4 pieces. You have this big washer here, and your lock nut that's going to screw that lid on tight. This is a compression fit lid, so it's shaped to fit over the barrel, and it has a nice snug fit that's going to give you a good waterproof seal. And then this lid, actually this gasket will come off of it, and this is designed to sit right down in the barrel. You just press it down in there nice and tight, make sure it has a good seal all the way around. And then you're going to press this barrel on nice and snugly. And then you put your washer on, and your nut should be screwed with the groove at the top. Now this is more important if you have a single barrel tumbler. For my tumbler, it's less important, but I just do it as a matter of habit. And you just want to screw that on nice and tight to make sure that you have a good waterproof seal. So this is going to roll around on your tumbler and it's thoroughly sealed. We're not having any leaks here. So that one's good to go. And we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on this one. This is our barrel with the pins in it. So again, I got a little bit of solution here. You want to go ahead and just, if you got any moisture in that lip of your barrel, go ahead and dry that off so you get a nice good tight seal. And again, press the first half of the lid in, put your compression top on, press it down nice and tight, washer, and screw. And that is it. All right, so we've put our solution in our barrels, and the last thing to do is just go ahead and put it on our tumbler, and we're just going to let it run for about an hour. So this is a Lortone 33B tumbler. It holds 2 barrels. And you can see here, there's a little nylon washer here on this end, and there's also one on this end. And so it's important when you load your tumbler, you want to load the barrels with the aluminum lid facing those washers. And that's just to keep your barrels from running up against these edges here. If you put the rubber side, you're going to get a lot of friction, and it's going to put a lot of load on your tumbler. So you want to make sure that you put that up against the aluminum side. There's a lot less friction there. And I'll start these in the middle, kind of up against each other. And then the last thing you're going to do is just plug it in. And let it run. Okay, my tumbler has been running for about an hour, and as you can see, these barrels did sort of work their way there toward the ends. So again, that's why you want to just make sure that you position those barrels with the aluminum ends facing the end of each of your tumbler. Now, if you have a single barrel tumbler, there's going to be a little metal lip. It's going to be on the other end of your tumbler up there by the motor. There's a little metal lip, and you just set your barrel on with the groove in this lid here over that little lip, and that holds your tumbler barrel in place and keeps it from sliding around on the rollers of your tumbler. And that's because, again, if that barrel slips back toward this end here and that rubber end of the barrel presses up against that end, it's going to put a lot of drag on your motor, and it's just going to create a lot of wear and tear on your motor. It'll burn your motor out eventually if that happens. So that's what that little metal lip there is for. You want to just make sure the groove is positioned right there, and it's going to hold your barrel in the right place so that you won't ever have that problem. Now, my tumbler has been running for about an hour, so my shot should be nice and clean at this point. I'm going to go ahead and unplug it. So as you can see here, this is the barrel that's not marked. This is the one that does not have the pins in it. So I'm going to go ahead and open this barrel, and I'm going to drain it in my other colander, which doesn't have as fine a mesh. The pins in this other barrel will slip through this mesh. So again, that's a tip for you. If you have a shot mix that has pins in it, make sure you use a fine mesh colander. You do not want that shot slipping down into your garbage disposal or into your drain. 1, it's expensive, and 2, if it does get into your garbage disposal, it's going to do some major damage down there. So just be aware of that. Now, a tip for opening the lid of your barrel. This washer makes a great little leverage tool. So you just want to kind of get in there under that lid and just pry it up a little bit. It's going to be stuck on there pretty good. And you can see we got just a little bit of leakage there around that seal. Not terrible. And then to remove this lid, you just want to squeeze the barrel to break that seal and pull that right out. And then I am going to Let's reposition this camera so you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm just going to go ahead and drain that. And we'll give the shot and the barrel a good rinse to make sure that that's all that cleaning fluid is removed from everything. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my second barrel. Again, we're just going to unscrew the lid. We'll use that washer to pry up the lid. And this one is a newer barrel. It seals a little bit better. I did get a little bit of seepage there, but again, not bad. And we're just going to pull that lid out, and I'm going to go ahead and drain this one in my fine mesh colander. And then the last thing I'll do is just go ahead and rinse everything with warm water, make sure I get all the cleaning residue out of there, and that's all there is to it. If you have any questions about tumblers, just drop those in the comments and I'll answer them as I see them. Do you want to learn more about maintaining your tumbler? I'm going to be doing a full series on tumbler maintenance, so be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when new videos become available. So that's all for today, wire weavers. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Until next time, go make something beautiful.